A very good morning, children. So, we are learning our chapter number 3 of Science 2, that is Life Processes in Living Organisms, Part 2. In a previous lecture, we had learned about the menstrual cycle. Now, moving further, we are going to learn about more concepts. Reproduction and modern technology. Many couples cannot have children due to various reasons. In case of women, irregularity in menstrual cycle, difficulties in oocyte production, obstacles in the oviduct, difficulties in implantation in uterus, and many other reasons are responsible for this. In men's, absence of sperms in the semen, slow movement of sperms, anomalies in the sperm are the reason in case of males. But now, with the help of advanced medical techniques like IVF, surrogacy, sperm bank, the childless couples can have a child. So, students, those couple cannot have children due to various reasons. In case of women, the reason would be of the female reproductive systems, like obstacles in the female reproductive system, and the obstacles may be irregularity in menstrual cycle, difficulties in oocyte production, obstacles in the oviduct, difficulty in implantation in the uterus, and many other reasons. So, and in men's there are also some reasons, that is absence of sperms in the semen, slow movement of sperms. So due to such all reasons, a couple cannot have a child. So, to recome all these obstacles, nowadays there is advanced medical techniques like IVF, surrogacy, sperm bank. The childless couples can have a child due to all these techniques. So we will learn one all the techniques one by one. The very first one, that is IVF, in vitro fertilization. So, what happens in this technique? In this technique, fertilization is brought about in the test tube and the embryo formed is implanted in uterus of woman at appropriate time. IVF technique is used for having the child in case of those childless couples who have problems like less sperm count, obstacles in oviduct, etc. So, students, what happens in this technique? Fertilization of the sperm and egg is brought in the test tube. The fertilization is done in the test tube, and the after the fertilization, the embryo which is formed in the test tube, that embryo is implanted, is injected in the uterus of woman at a appropriate time. So IVF technique is used for having the child in case of those childless couples who have problems like less sperm count and obstacles in oviduct. So this technique, what happens in this technique? The fertilization of the sperm and the ovum, that is the male gamete and female gamete, is done in the test tube. And after the fertilization is done, when the embryo is formed, that embryo is implanted in the uterus of woman at appropriate time. Now, moving to the next technique, that is surrogacy. Now, what is surrogacy, children? Some women have problems in implantation of embryo in uterus. Such women can take the help of the modern remedial technique called as surrogacy. In this technique, oocyte is collected from the ovary of the woman having problem in implantation in uterus. That oocyte is fertilized in test tube with the help of sperms collected from her husband. The embryo formed from such fertilization is implanted in the uterus of some other woman having normal uterus. Such a woman in whose uterus the embryo is planted is called as surrogate mother. Now, students, what is done in this technique? Some women have problem in implantation in uterus. They cannot implant a baby in the uterus. So, what is done? Oocyte are collected from the ovary of that woman, then that oocyte is fertilized in the test tube with the help of sperms which are collected from her husband. Then, after the fertilization takes place in the test tube, when the embryo is formed, that embryo is implanted in the uterus of some other woman having normal uterus. So, such a woman in whose uterus the embryo is planted is called as surrogate mother, and full this technique is called as surrogacy. The next technique is sperm bank or semen bank. There are various problems in sperm production as mentioned above in case of many men. So as to have the children in case of such couples, new concept of sperm bank has been introduced. This concept is similar to blood bank. Semen ejaculated by the desired man is collected after the thorough physical and medical checkup and stored in the sperm bank. As per the wish of needful couple, oocyte of woman of the concerned couple is fertilized by IVF technique using the semen from sperm bank. Resultant embryo is implanted in the uterus of same woman. Name of the semen donor is strictly kept secret as per the law. So students, what happened in this technique? There are various problems in sperm productions in some of the men. So as to have the children in case of such couples, new technique has came, that is sperm bank. So what happened in this technique? This sperm bank technique is similar as of the blood bank. So in this technique, semen ejaculated by the desired men is collected after their thorough physical and medical checkup, and that semen is stored in the sperm bank. And as per the wish of needful couple who will be needed this? Those couple would have problem of sperm production. So as per the wish of needful couple, oocyte of woman of the concerned couple is fertilized by IVF technique using the semen from sperm bank. Now oocyte of woman and the sperms that is collected from the sperm bank, then both of them is fertilized using the IVF technique, that is in vitro fertilization technique, that is it is fertilized in a test tube, and afterwards when the embryo is ready, what happens? It is implanted in the uterus of same woman. Name of the semen donor is strictly kept secret as per the law. One cannot tell the name of the semen donor because it is secret as per the law. Now moving to the new concept, that is twins. How are twins formed? Two embryos develop simultaneously in the same uterus and thus two offsprings are delivered simultaneously. Such offerings are called as twins. Many couples have twins. There are two main types of twins, as monozygotic twins and dizygotic twins. Now students, what are twins? Two embryos develop simultaneously in the same uterus. That is, two offsprings are delivered. Such offsprings, such children are called as twins. Many couples have twins, and twins are of two types. One is monozygotic twins and another is dizygotic twins. What is monozygotic twins? First, mono means one and zygotic stands from zygote. So monozygotic twins are formed from single embryo. So during early period of embryonic development, that is within 8 days of zygote formation, cells of that embryo divide in two groups. So students, what happens? During early period of embryonic development, that is within 8 days of zygote formation, cells of that embryo divide into two groups. Those two groups develop as two separate embryos and thus monozygotic twins are formed. such twins are genetically exactly similar to each other. Due to this, such twins are exactly similar in their appearance and their gender is also same. That is, both will be either boys or either girls. Now, in case of monozygotic twins, if the embryonic cells are divided into two groups 8 days after the zygote formation, there is high possibility of formation of conjoined twins, that is Siamese twins. Such twins are born with some parts of body joined to each other. Some organs are common in such twins. First of all, students, what are monozygotic twins? Mono means one and zygotic is the term came from zygote. So if the twins are formed from single embryo, then they are said to be as monozygotic. So, during early period of embryonic development, cells of that embryo divides into two groups and those two groups develop as two separate embryos and thus monozygotic twins are formed. Now students, such twins are genetically exactly similar to each other because they are formed from single embryo. So, they are going to be exactly similar. So, due to such twins are exactly similar in their appearance and their gender is also same. So, due to this, they are formed from single embryo. Due to this, they are exactly similar in their appearance and their gender is also same. Either both will be male or either they will be female. That means they will be girls or they will be boys. So, in case of monozygotic twins, if the embryonic cells are divided into two groups 8 days after the zygote formation, there is high possibility of formation of conjoined twins, that is Siamese twins. What are they? Such twins are, what are conjoined twins or Siamese twins? Such twins are born with some parts of body joined to each other and in them some organs are also common in such twins. Occasionally, two oocytes are released from the ovary of woman and both oocytes are fertilized by two separate sperms and thus two zygotes are formed. Two embryos are formed from those two zygotes and both of those embryos are separately implanted in the uterus and thus dizygotic twins are delivered after complete development. Such twins are genetically different and may be same of different by gender. So students, what are dizygotic twins? What happens occasionally? Two oocytes are released from the ovary of the woman and those two oocytes are fertilized by two separate sperms, that is from two different sperms, and thus two zygotes are formed. Two embryos are formed from those two zygotes and both of those embryos are separately implanted in the uterus and thus dizygotic twins are delivered after complete development. Such twins are genetically different and may be same of different by gender. So dizygotic twins are genetically different and they are same or may be different by gender. One can be boy, other will be a girl. Now next concept is reproductive health. First of all, what is health, children? A person's state of being physical, mental and social strongness is called as health. When a person is physically fit, mentally fit and he is strong, that time it is said to be health. So, in a country, there seems to be lack of awareness regarding reproductive health due to various reasons like social customs, traditions, illiteracy, shyness, etc. Especially, there seems to be indifference towards the reproductive health of women. So, in our country, there is lack of awareness on the reproductive health and especially it is on women. And why is it so? Because of illiteracy, people are not literate, they are not educated, so they don't know the reason behind all these things. And the other reason will be shyness. So, due to all these reasons, there are lack of awareness regarding reproductive health. Occurrence of menstrual cycle is related with reproductive and overall health of women. Nowadays, women are working at par with men. Par means, students, women's work equally as men's. So due to this, they have to stay outdoors for whole day. Bleeding occurs during menstrual cycle. Due to this, private organs, that is genitals, need to be maintained clean time to time. Otherwise, problems regarding reproductive health may arise. Some problems regarding reproductive health may arise in men too. It is essential to maintain the cleanliness of their genitals. So, students, what happens at the time of occurrence of menstrual cycle? It is related with reproductive and as well as overall health of the woman. Nowadays, there is so much development that women are working equally as men do. So, due to this, they have to stay outdoors for whole days. So, bleeding occurs during menstrual cycle, and at this time, private organs, that is genitals, need to be maintained clean time to time. If they are not, then problems regarding reproductive health arises. And such problems regarding reproductive health may arise in men's also. So it is essential to maintain the cleanliness of their reproductive organs or their private organs, which are said to be genitals. So students, this was the last concept of the Chapter 3, Life Processes in Living Organisms, Part 2. We have completed our lesson 3 from Science 2. Watch all the videos of this lesson to get your concepts more clear. Thank you students for your attention. Goodbye. Have a nice day.